So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So we got the official info about the new Lilith and Bonney legends. We're getting our first egghead batch, which is obviously very exciting. We're finally free from Wano for real after all this time. And yeah, we're getting two legends, as I said, Lilith and Bonney. We're getting Usopp and Frankie rare recruits. We're getting a rare recruit Chopper. We're getting a Paraking Avenger Jinbei. And we're also getting a login Luffy. But for this video, we're just going to talk about the legends. So let's start with the big one, which is the Punk 02, aka Lilith. And yeah, if I go up a bit, you can see that she is Cerebral Shooter, which is a not too uncommon class combo. Like we already have Ben Beckman and Lakaru, for example, and also the 6++ Uta. So Lilith will feel right at home here, I'm sure. And yeah, she also has Barrier Pen, Special Limit, and Final Tap. And yeah, it's a good Final Tap as well as we look at. She also has a Super Clause. But yeah, with that, let's go in order. I usually start with Captain, but these pictures start with Special. So let's do that. And basically, if Captain is Cerebral, and you have an attack boost, you need to fulfill both these conditions. Then your attack boost will be nerfed. So if you have a 3x attack boost, it becomes a 2x attack boost. But the benefit you get is that you can add another attack boost. And basically, the attack boost that you reduce and then can add another, that attack boost can no longer be altered in any way. So if you're thinking like, oh, I can just use Roger Whitebeard, for example, to make it a 3x attack boost. No, you can't change it at all. Not the duration, not the multiplier. So you have what you have after you use Lilith's special. But of course, the second attack boost you use after Lilith, which will have to be from another special. Maybe a support to Lilith, but I don't think she has any super good ones for that. That one can be altered, extended, and buffed in different ways. And yeah, we had an idea that we'd get something like this from the data mine, but you never know exactly when it will happen. And yeah, anyway, we can talk more about this. Let's look through the rest of the special first. She has some utility too in the special, which is nice. She reduces attack down in the spear by 6 turns. She does int damage end of turn for 3 turns, which also helps you bypass resilience. That's basically also utility. If you have ore boost from specialists used, you buff it by plus 0.5. Otherwise, in Cerebral and Shooter gets a 2.75 times ore boost for 2 turns. So she doesn't only have the attack boost thing and utility, she can also give you ore boost or buff them. So she's very versatile and pretty good in general. Special wise at least. I will say though that it can be hard to fit her, like if you're thinking like just put in Lilith and you can use one more attack boost, but we have a lot of stackable buffs. Attack boost is not inherently better to stack, and stacking this one has that huge penalty of losing actual attack from a stat. We don't have such penalty when stacking conditionals, for example. Doesn't mean it's bad. I just don't think that with the units we have now, this won't be that impactful. But if every future Vegapunk, since we're getting future ones, if they have similar effects and lets you stack ore boost, color affinities, etc., while also giving buffs, and then they're having some super tanner with each other, stuff like that, it could be really strong. But right now, not that great by itself, but has a lot of potential for the future. Capability, int, Cerebral, and Shooter, -2 CD. You get the end of turn damage for the first 3 turns, which is very weird. Just launch the special right away. Like, we have some effects like this that you launch your special turn 1. I don't see the danger of doing that, but okay, we just get end of turn damage for 3 turns. Interbral shooter, 5.5 times attack with matching orbs. And if you use a special to boost attack, it gets buffed to plus 0.25, which fits with her kit since she can basically buff 2 different attack boosts optimally. Even if you nerf one, it basically means that instead of nerfing it by 1, you nerf it by 0.075, if that makes sense. So speedrun captain is nice, numbers are okay, attack boost nice bonus. I would have liked some utility, so she's not really the new Uta or anything like that, but yeah, nice unit for the future. Sailors, int matching for cerebral and shooter. Top row gets plus 150 attack. My setup doesn't let me show the last one, so you'll have to trust me on that. Support. Can we put on any int cerebral? And at level 5, if you use a special, you change the support character slots to int, reduce attack down by 1 turn, and int and cerebrals gets a 1.75 times orb boost for 1 turn. Amazing support. Can we put on any int? Can give any int a good orb boost and utility and orb change. Like, might be one of the best supports in general. Like, if you think about the support like the Halloween Law that can give orb boost, it's used frequently, at least in my opinion. And this is basically Halloween Law but on steroids. It's so much better. So yeah, very good. Lilith actually has a good final tap. You have to be about 80% HP. If you are at level 5, you will change Lilith's slot to int, and you add 1 times damage dealt by normal attacks of other cerebral characters this turn top of final damage. So it's basically the same as Luffy Crew and the Scabbard legend, but this time it's just cerebral damage. And yeah, I hope that during Hellgate cerebral will get better. They are not bad, but they are not that great, at least from a damage perspective right now. But as said, my hope is that we get Vegapunk badges that are built around cerebral and around this gimmick of stacking different buffs. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the future units we're going to get with them. Superclass as well. Kinda expected that since we don't really have any other requirement to do, they're going with class and color. So 6 cerebral or 6 int lets you use the superclass, and you change all slots including block to int. You boost int type cerebral character attack by 2.75 times for 2 turns. Int or cerebral is 2.5 times attack for 2 turns. And you change cerebral characters to super cerebral. The cool thing with this superclass is the fact that Lilith can help with getting attack boost. The way I see it, Lilith is a pretty good... Well, it doesn't really matter, I guess, but if you use something like, let's say gear 5, 6 plus, you get 3 times attack. Use Lilith special, make it 2 times attack. And then you swoop in with Lilith's superclass and you get that 2.5 times attack. Then you can do it like that. Otherwise, like, use Lilith first, then it gets nerfed to 1.75 times, for example. So yeah, it will be interesting to play around with at least, but it's good that she can give attack boost with her own kit. Obviously, you can't use the superclass with gear 5 on the team, by the way, since 6 cerebral or int, but yeah, just an example. But yeah, that's Lilith. Huge potential for the future. Won't be that good on release, so I wouldn't rush to get her really, even if she is good on paper. We also have a filler legend in the Bonney, and yeah, she also has a final tap. She has hunger, pinch healing, classic Bonney stuff, fighter, free spirit, the classic Bonney classes as well. And yeah, the whole batch is in, so the same goes with Bonney. Bonney, special, uses bind and paralysis by 7. You get the 1 turn orb block, which is always a great bonus. 20k HP heal. You get a 3 turn increased damage taken, weaken conditional. And yeah, I kind of like that they're starting to combine not too many, like we have the Halloween Perona legend, for example. She lets you stack every buff, basically, but that makes it hard to stack conditionals. But if you only have 2 buffs, then you have some leeway in what you go for. And Bonney's kit lets her apply either increased damage taken or weakened. So you have some potential of making use of the conditional on 2 different stages too, which I think is probably the most interesting part of the unit. If Bonney is a captain, or friend captain, or helper captain, you apply minus 50% sign resistance to all enemies for 2 turns, which is a good bonus. If character is a crewmate, you apply weakened status to all enemies for 3 turns, and I think this is the first time they confirm what weakened does. Maybe we've read about it somewhere, but I missed it in that case. But apparently, weakened enemies. I wonder if the weakened is new, by the way. I was thinking it's the same as Ulti page 1, but isn't that the opposite, strong enemies? So maybe weakened is a new thing. So yeah, that might be the case. Like, I haven't thought about it or asked about this, and I just assumed it's the Ulti page 1 thing, but I don't think it is. But weaken at least, it gives you an increased damage taken by 1.5 times for all enemies. And you get a further increase by 1.25 times if enemy has increased damage taken. And of course, if the enemy has increased damage taken as well, then that stacks with weaken. Doesn't make sense to me otherwise, different mechanics. So we have different ways to stack increased damage taken now as well. So that's pretty interesting. And yeah, it does say it applies it for 3 turns, but obviously that means that if you stay on a stage for 3 turns, then it's applied. But if you lead to the next stage, it won't apply the weaken again. So worth to keep in mind. Captain ability. Boost Psi, Int, and fighter characters HP by 1.2 times. 5.25 times attacks. 5.5 times attack when they have Int recovery tandem. Makes recovery slots matching. Higher chance to get recovery. You can consume recovery by hitting perfect. If you tap with Bonney and she has a recovery orb, she applies weakened to all enemies for 1 turn. And this also ignores immunities. That's very cool. So as Captain, Bonney can reliably apply this unique buff. So she could see some use due to that. Main negative with her captain is that she's only fighter captain and not free spirit, and obviously fighter is maybe the worst class and free spirit is the best class, so like night and day basically. But still Psi and Int helps, of course. So yeah, nothing special except for applying weaken, but that's a very potential use case for her, especially when she also has access to a super, which we'll look at in a bit. Science Fighter makes recovery matching, and she also sets all slots to recovery at start of quest. You can't see it, but that's what she does, and that's really good, of course, as a sailor. Support can be put on Luffy, Chopper, Jinbei, and Kuma. If you're inflicted with bind paralysis from the enemy, you reduce bind paralysis by 1 turn, and you boost damage dealt to increase damage taken enemies by 1.75 times for 1 turn. Like, what? That's so cool. Like, take Luffy Yamato, for example, a Luffy unit. They have increased damage taken in their kit. With this support, you don't need to bring another unit for the conditional. You get it for free, and then you can use like Robin to stack, and suddenly it's a lot better, easier to team build. So yeah, that's the first thing that came to mind. Like, This support literally makes Luffy Yamato a lot more potentially viable, so yeah, that's pretty funny. But that's just one example. We also get utility, which is cool. Final tap, final battle, and yeah, this is one of those normal filler final taps, nothing special. You change Bonney's orb to recovery, and you boost her base attack by plus 2000 for 1 turn, so yeah. Very standard, not special like Lilith. Finally, we have super type, and you need a straw hat or Kuma basically. You change all slots, including block to recovery. Change the recovery orb multiplier to 2.75 times, which is the meta standard, so that's really good. And she can also apply increased damage taken to all enemies by 1.75 times for 2 turns. Sadly, it's not through full immunity. Real talk, if Bonney could also apply full increased damage taken through full immunity, her viability will be super high. Now it drops a little bit due to that, but yeah, for being basically a filler legend, that's still a very impressive kit. So yeah, good on her, basically. But yeah, that's my initial impressions for the new legends. We'll see if I talk about PvP later, but as you all know, that's not my main interest. It depends if there's something interesting in PvP. And yeah, we'll see Sugo info and such later. I'll probably do a full few pulls, not anything insane. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.